Great stuff. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all here. A big thanks for joining, wherever you are. We're just going to wait for a minute just to see who else we can get in, just as everyone trickles in. Cool. Great to see you. Cool. I think we'll get started. So just some housekeeping to kick off with. So I'm going to aim to present for around 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll have a short question and answer session at the end. So if you'd like to ask a question, you can just pop it in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. And also, you'll all get a recording of the session just after we finished. So you can choose to share that with colleagues or rewatch yourselves. So today we're here to talk about one of the trickiest emerging challenges that's currently facing OEMs and their dealers, partners, and their agencies. And that challenge is the content gap. So what is the content gap? So we see it as the difference between the number of digital assets needed to build a really effective omnichannel car buying journey, and that's versus the capacity of an OEM or their agencies to meet the demand for those digital assets. And recently, hopefully you'll agree, that the growth in the need for visual assets has been huge, and that's been driven by pretty much every corner of a brand's sales and marketing operations. So let's have a look at where this demand is coming from specifically. So first of all, configurators. So being able to show all options, accessories, and configurations to a car buyer is essential, especially with today's digital journey. But it can require millions of assets to create a really fantastic experience. For example, a configurator can include visuals of all vehicle angles, turntables, hero shots, vehicle animations, galleries, and more. And then we have digital advertising, which, as we all know, is a huge consumer of CGI content, especially if you want that content to be dynamic and personalized. And similarly, social media is a really content-hungry channel. And the need for brands to create really engaging content for social is properly critical, because we just can't rely on customers finding and visiting your website anymore. I think it's about less than a third of customers that actually visit the OEM's website during their car buying journey. Instead, with social media, you got to take your brand and your cars to your customers where they spend the time. And where is that? That's on Instagram, on Facebook, on Snapchat, and on TikTok. So, and then we have dealers. So how are they meant to, especially at this point, how are they meant to get all of the assets that they need to sell cars that possibly don't even exist yet, or in the process of being built, or simply aren't in stock? And then also, as events make a welcome comeback, how can we wow customers with innovation while we're at those shows? And this is relevant not only to physical events like motor shows, but digital ones as well. And this can include model launches and premieres that are designed to reach as many people as possible. So we have to make the best impression possible. And then you also have partners and third parties who are also crying out for content for their own marketing campaigns. And then on top of that, you have CRM systems that need content for personalized emails and other more sophisticated digital takeaways like digital brochures. And then we have market localization, which is a biggie. So if you think about all the channels that we've discussed up to now and multiply them by the number of territories an OEM is present in, that's an awful lot of content. But that's what's needed if an OEM wants to effectively localize their campaigns and make them super relevant to each market. And then we can add in the need for personalization at scale, the holy grail, as customers are more and more expecting personalized experiences as a basic requirement of their car buying journey. And then finally, innovation. So OEMs really have to push the boat out to cut through the clutter and provide content that properly surprises and delights customers. And that's really important today because the experience that we provide during the car buying journey is a reflection on the cars themselves. And so that means that they have to be innovative and adopt emerging AR, VR, and cloud content, especially as the metaverse goes mainstream. So in summary, the content gap is the difference between a brand's demand for visual content and its capability to supply it. So hi, I'm Ben, and I'm lucky enough to work here at ZeroLight. And for those of you who haven't come across us before, we empower OEMs and their agencies and their dealers to overcome the strategic challenges of selling their vehicles. And one of the most common strategic challenges we see today is the content gap. And we address these problems with our cloud visualization platform, which I'm excited to tell you more about today. But before we go any further, we're just going to have a bit of audience participation. So I'm just going to publish a quick poll. So you should see that on your screen now. But it'd be really interesting to get your answer to this question, which is, how easy do you find it to generate enough visual content to meet your marketing objectives? So if you just pop your answer in there, it'll be really great to see what the response is. See the answers coming in now. That's great. So that's really interesting. A really interesting result, and leads us nicely into these stats from Dentsu, which show that 84% of marketers see content generation as a challenge, and 72% of marketers say that they're simply unable to create enough content to meet demand. So you're not alone. And the problem has also reached the boardrooms of some of the world's biggest OEMs, and that's backed up by Bain, who see the closing of the content gap as a key strategic challenge for the industry as a whole. So let's see what the symptoms of the content gap are, and you see if you might recognize some of them in your own organization. So currently, you might be relying on media that is product incorrect or unsuitable for particular markets. You might have really overstretched computer graphics teams, and that can lead to delayed schedules. And then you might have multiple CG agency contracts on the go, which are costly and need a lot of management to make sure that all of the output is consistent. And you might also be having to retouch old images, which is never a great position to be in. And that can be time consuming and mean that your content becomes repetitive and lacks impact. And finally, you might be restricted in your ability to produce really cutting edge, creative and innovative content that, as I said before, that provides that innovation that allows you to get some breathing space amongst your competitors. So the challenge that most OEMs have is that the methods that they're using to try and address their content gap are simply not scalable. And so this slide shows a common setup that OEMs can find themselves in. So we see internal computer graphics teams working alongside CG agencies. And the problem is that this approach doesn't scale to meet demand. It requires trained and skilled artists. It's reliant upon specialist software and hardware. It requires really extensive and repetitive 3D data prep work and slow rendering times as well. So no matter how many people you have in the room, you just can't do this manually. You can't address the content gap manually. And this is where VW had the vision to realize they needed to think differently about their CGI strategy in order to scale. And what form did this take? Well, it's a scalable CG tool that could empower them to dramatically increase their CG output. So in order to add the maximum amount of value to this tool, VW had a shopping list of criteria that the new tool had to have. So it had to include HQ-approved 3D model data for quality and consistency, and that could help foster trust in those models as well. It needed to use real-time rendering for fast, cost-effective media production. It needed to be easy to use so that any users could pick it up easily and create awesome content. And it also needed to be an online browser and cloud-based tool so that no specialist hardware was needed or any software installed. They didn't want to be investing in high-performance rendering PCs and that kind of thing. So the product that resulted was VW Content Creator, and that's powered by ZeroLight's product Spotlight Suite, which you can see on this slide here. So since 2019, it's really revolutionized the way that VW creates CG content globally. So let's take a close look at what it does. So you can see here that the tool contains all cars for all markets for multiple model years. A user is able to generate any car in any configuration, whether it's physical stock or a car that's yet to be built. And all models, crucially, are approved by VW as the single source of truth, and then they're rolled out across all outputs. And this means that VW can be 100% confident that all generated content is product correct. There won't be any issues further down the line. So now VW have got all of their digital twins on the platform. What can they actually do with them? So Content Creator includes a range of really powerful creative apps, and they can be used by VW and their agencies and their dealers and their partners to generate all kinds of different exciting media. And this can include images, turntables, videos, panoramic images, personalized websites, gallery packs, digital brochures, and even AR models. And what's really exciting is that we're adding to its capabilities all the time. So the best bit about Spotlight Suite is how easy to use it is. And this allows it to be entrusted and shared with local markets with confidence. What's great is that you don't have to be an expert to use Content Creator. And you can see in this video just how easy it is to pick your model, place it in different environments, and immediately get a great result. So there are also lots of tools and features that can help users to achieve their desired output. And these include different render effects, post-processing, and different export options as well. And even something like motion blur, which is probably going to be applied to the majority of content. It can normally take professional artists up to about a day to complete, but this can be done in Content Creator within minutes. So it's really built with the automotive market in mind. So, and finally, rendering times for final assets are incredibly quick and take just minutes, even for 16K resolution images, and that's thanks to the cloud. So, and here's the tool in action. So you can see the process by which we created the cover image for this presentation. So you can see the user selecting the car and placing the car in this cool graffiti HDRI environment. And then it's just a case of adjusting the lighting and the shadows to achieve a really impressive result. So you can see all the different tweaks that are being made to make it as photorealistic as possible. And it's as simple as that. So VW Content Creator was first released in 2019. And since then, VW has created a really powerful community of sharing and collaboration. And what's great is that we've seen territories sharing their creations with one another, which has improved efficiencies for VW. And the tool has also been rolled out and shared across all of VW's markets, agencies, dealers, and partners as well. So why has it been so successful? So we believe it's because a tool such as the content creator can address as much as 80% of an OEM's CGI content needs. The other 20%, such as TV commercials and lifestyle content, at this point are still best served by manual methods, but we believe it can really take the weight of the majority of CGI content that needs to be produced. And in this sense, we see content creator as a real democratizer. So in the same way that Wix has democratized web development and Canva has democratized graphic design, we see Spotlight Suite as a democratizer of CGI production. And in both of these instances, Wix and Canva, millions of users have benefited from the removal of the need for specialist skills, tools, and equipment, and is exactly the same philosophy with Spotlight Suite. So that's the tool over and done with. So let's see how it's actually being used by VW and see some of the different outputs that they've come up with. So first of all, it's been used by VW America to produce tactical content for VW.com, which you can see here. It's also been passed on to Amazon by VW to create this really exciting interactive new ad format for Fire TV. So this is where Fire TV users can click on an ad and then get a light configuration experience and explore the exterior and the interior of a vehicle. And then we have these interactive turntables created by VW Turkey. And these were created in minutes rather than months with Content Creators turntable tool. And this was for the launch of the T-Cross. And those basic turntables can be enhanced as well. So we can, just like VW UK has done here, they enrich the experience with lights, animations, a night mode, and interiors as well. And then we have digital advertising. So I'm just going to share a video so it runs a bit smoother. So you can see here video assets. And what's great about Spotlight is that it can render batches of thousands of ad creatives really, really quickly and exported at once. And they can be used for programmatic ads and also used to personalize and optimize digital ad campaigns. So you can see this great content in lots of different formats and ratios for different platforms. Let's get that bigger. And VW UK has again used Content Creator to create some powerful content that's been used across both paid and organic social media. And even for dealer inventory as well. So Content Creator can really rapidly produce images, videos, and adverts of stock cars. And this functionality was taken advantage of by VW Belgium, who exported media in about 5,000 unique configurations in an afternoon to match their dealer stock. And VW Belgium also replaced their paper brochures with personalized websites for every customer, which you can see here. It's a really engaging format. And what's really fantastic about it is that every piece of content that's featured on each personalized website is tailored to each individual's personal configuration. And then finally, a ZeroLight favorite, I'll share the video again. So the Euros football tournament, VW Germany created these ads that you can see on the digital banners around the pitch. And these played throughout the football tournament and showing that content creator can be really effective for out-of-home advertising as well. So what have we learned from the process in working with VW to build their content creator? And how can our learnings help you to bridge your content gap? So after 2 years of working with VW on the content creator, we've learned a lot. For example, we've learned that providing the tool alone is not enough to ensure success. It takes support from both sides, so ZeroLight and VW, in terms of training, dedicated resources, and understanding what success looks like for different users. And as well as this, it's important, or it's really important, to protect a brand's creative guidelines to ensure that the right users of content creator get the right level of creative freedom. And that's where content creators' templated tools and custom permissions come in. So we're almost at the end. I just wanted to give you a bit of a sneak peek at some new apps that are currently in early access through Content Creator. So first up is our AR app within Content Creator. And AR is a format where we've seen a massive content gap open up. What's fantastic is that VW can now create an AR model of any vehicle in any configuration in 5 minutes. So it's a real game changer and a fantastic addition to the customer journey. And then from AR to test drives of a sort. So users of Content Creator, I'll share this video. So users of Content Creator can now generate driving videos of every car in the VW range on demand. And this is something that just couldn't be possible with traditional content production. It would just be way too expensive and cumbersome process. So this is a really exciting development that we've been working really hard on to achieve. Brilliant. So thank you all for listening. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, you'll get an email after this session with the recording attached. And you'll also receive my details. So please reach out if you'd like to get a free trial of Spotlight Suite for you and your team. And we'll manage the process and give you access to our customer success team. Or if you have any other questions, just pop them over. So I'll just see if we've had any questions through. Good morning, Paul. So it doesn't seem like we've had any. One question that we get asked a lot is what vehicle data formats can the platform take? And the answer to that is any. So we can work to clean up any data that you would like to send us, and get that in the platform in a photorealistic digital twin that we can use to roll out all these brilliant experiences that I've taken you through today. So I think we'll draw the session to a close. Thanks for joining again, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day. Thanks.